What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Dan Becker here. Thank you so much for being here. I'm up in northern Wisconsin on this beautiful lake, actually with my good buddy Gordon. If you remember Gordon, OG viewers will remember Gordon. He was my old editor. He used to work for me. Now he actually has a YouTube channel, which we'll put a link in the description below so you can go check that out. It's actually he's actually killing it right now. But we're on this awesome lake that we've actually winter camped on before. Roll clip. And the whole point, the whole reason we're out here in the middle of the lake, we're not going to camp out here, okay? This is not what we're doing. We're out here to prove a point. And the point is that you, in almost every situation of all of your backpacking, camping, you do not need to buy a 4-season tent. If people were to ask me, Dan, show us your 4-season tent, I would say, I don't even own one. I mean, I've got trekking pole tents that the manufacturer says that they are 4-season tents. And I'm doing quotes right now. They're 4-season tents, but they're not necessarily 4-season. Do you own a winter tent, a 4-season?
No.
How long have you been winter camping?
25 years.
That's way longer than me.
Yeah.
How many winter camps do you think you've done? Like, if you had to count them?
I don't know. Dozens and dozens, probably.
Okay, and you don't own a 4-season tent?
No.
What's like the worst situation you've been in?
I don't know, like -5 and high winds, and I just had a tent like this.
Did you ever get snow dumping on you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you survived?
Yeah, you just have to knock it off in the middle of the night, you know, but.
Let's actually talk about what a 4-season tent is. So I'm gonna show you what a 4-season tent is with a 3-season tent. Because I don't have a 4-season. We are winter camping up here. We're actually doing a whole hot tent video. And we brought some hot tents up here, and we just brought this for this video, but I don't even have a 4-season tent to camp in. I guess is a hot tent's a 4-season tent. Okay, I lied. But that's not a backpacking. Maybe it is. Just stop in the comments. You comment keyboard warriors. Chill out. Okay. All right. So the whole point of a 4-season tent is it's going to be typically a much more rigid frame. So this is an extremely lightweight tent. This is the Nemo Hornet Elite. This is like 2.5 pounds all in. But the frame on this thing is pretty. It's not, I mean, you could put some good weight on there, but it's not going to hold a huge snow load on it. And the nylon on here is actually really, really, really thin. And it's got a net on the inside for the inner tent is actually a net wall. But a 4-season tent would be a much thicker denier nylon. A lot of 4-season tents actually have double walls that are both nylon. And the frame or the tent poles are usually a lot more strong and rigid to be able to hold a lot more weight.
4-season tent is not really the right word, is it?
No.
It's more like a weather condition, right?
For sure. When people think of a 4-season tent, it makes them think of winter. I think it's a terrible term because the tent isn't built, right, like you said, for just snow. It's really more of a weather condition tent. It's a scenario tent. So if you know you're going to be in like extreme winds or
alpine environments.
Alpine environments are like, you know, I don't know, snow just absolutely dumping on you.
If you're a scientist studying penguins in the Antarctic, right?
Exactly. You'd be, for sure, go buy your 4-season tent. But for most people, a tent like this is totally fine. Also notice that I was able to stake out this tent on the middle of a frozen lake in snow with regular tent stakes, and the tent is actually holding up. It was a little bit difficult to get the stakes in the ground because this is really powdery snow, and they're not in the ground. They're actually laying flat like this, and they're buried in the snow, and then I just pile up snow on top of them. And if you kind of just hold it for a while, it'll start to lock. Obviously, if you're going to be in an environment like this, you're going to want snow stakes, but a 4-season tent does have the ability to be a little bit warmer because typically the nylon is thicker, and the inner wall of the tent usually is also another sheet of nylon. But then you're also going to be dealing with a lot more condensation inside of your tent too. So when you wake up in the middle of the night in a 4-season tent, they're usually not going to ventilate as much. And then if you are like concerned about like wind getting in your tent, you can always build a snow wall up around your tent like this, and that could help mitigate some of that wind going inside of your tent.
I mean, I've always thought that like what you're sleeping on is more important than what's like around you. As long as you can get out of the wind, what's underneath you is going to be more important, right?
You're talking like sleeping like pads and stuff
Yeah,
like that? Yeah.
yeah.
And then also the environment that you're choosing too. Like obviously we're on a frozen lake, it's gonna be really cold underneath you. So four season tent doesn't mean you're gonna be warm.
No.
It means it'll hold in warmth like from the air, but you're gonna want a good rated sleeping pad underneath you for the conditions that you're in. That's the situation where you are like four season. If you're winter camping, buy a four season pad for your inside of your 3-season tent. Okay, one more thing I want to show you here. Come over here. You stand right there. I'll go over here. Yeah, okay. Do you see how this tent is angled? It's a 3-season tent. So if I was going to take this out in the snow, I'm glad to have an angle like that, because if it does snow, the angle of this tent, that snow is going to slide off the tent at night. It's not going to weigh down the top of the tent. If you do start to get pooling up on your 3-season tent, like Gordon said earlier, you wake up in the middle of the night and just knock it off, and it's going to slide right off. So that is something to pay attention to if you are if you know you're going to be out in the middle of the winter where there is going to be snow on you, and you don't want to carry a super heavy 4-season tent, and you're looking for a 3-season tent, pay attention to that. If the angle, that's going to be a big benefit for you out in a winter storm. One more thing too is, Gordon, I think people forget that like when they're buying a tent, they don't think about how heavy a 4-season tent is.
Brutal.
Like a very expensive, lightweight 4-season tent can be like 5 pounds, 8 pounds. Some of them are 10 pounds. You can find ultralight ones, but they're almost to the point of a 3-season tent at some point. Like they're obviously, there's like give and take in the manufacturing process. So the benefit of a 3-season tent in a situation like this, especially if you're having a hike out here, right?
Seriously.
Yeah, it's just a lot lighter. Is there a condition like in all of the bajillion like winter tent situations that you've been in that you were ever nervous of a 3-season like failing on you?
Absolutely. Like in high winds, I would be very nervous about a 3-season tent. But how I would mitigate that is I would pile up a bunch of snow on the windward side. So it actually shapes the wind up over your tent and keeps it from getting underneath your tent and ripping that rain fly off. So
last year when we went winter camping, he built he had a tarp. He didn't even have a 3-season tent. He slept under it. He whittled a lean-to and then laid a Mylar blanket over it. That's what he slept on in the winter, folks. Okay.
But I piled up snow around it and so that the wind wouldn't take it away, and so it was safe.
Now that's okay for you backpackers or noobs out there. That's obviously extreme. Nobody's telling you that you should do that. But a 3-season tent, honestly, in 99.9% of the situations is all you're gonna need. Okay, so to sum everything up, don't be afraid to sleep in a 3-season tent. I'm gonna save you some money right now, okay? So don't go out and buy the 4-season tent unless you know you're gonna be in a massive environment where you are, based on what we talked about, you're gonna need it. So thank you, Gordon. Absolutely. Go check him out on YouTube. What's your YouTube channel name?
Grim Granite.
Grim Granite, and his shorts, like his short, not the shorts he's wearing, but his YouTube shorts are hilarious. And make sure you go check it out. Thanks, guys, and we will see you on the next one.